Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette Truan. The host for Relatives Fight CPS, and I also work for Attorney Vincent Davis. I'm going to be joined with Stacy. She's going to come in a few minutes. But I just wanted to start off the show by talking to relatives one on one. There is a lot of corruption in the system, and when CPS's goal is to turn you against your sons or daughters, and you as the grandparents or you as the auntie or you as the uncle, or the big sister or what have you, or cousins, you guys tend to believe that CPS is there to protect children, when in reality CPS became a $1 trillion a year entity by not protecting children. They became this huge humongous entity for destroying families and destroying children. So when you go against your daughter or your son, who are the parents, that's what CPS wants. Because once they divide the parents away from the relatives, from the family life, they're not going to have any support, whether it's mental support, financial support, um, any type of support they don't want the parents to have. So even if the parent has a job, for example, the parent has a job, and say they told the parent to do a drug test every day, and the parent says, I have work, I have to go to work from this time to this time. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to make the drug testing to be the exact time the parents had to be at work. The reason they do that is because they want them to lose their jobs. Once they lose their jobs, they're going to be financially drained. And a parent during times like this is crisis, because they're making excuses that they're taking children because parents do drugs. Example, most of the time the parents are not doing drugs at all. The other times the parents are smoking marijuana, and say that the marijuana is legal at that state, in that state. It doesn't matter. They're going to make it look like it's narcotic drugs. They're going to make your sons or daughter go to do drug testing every day. They're going to force them to go to rehab when it's not necessary. The kids are not neglected. The kids are not abused. The kids are doing great at school. The kids are healthy. The kids love their parents. But what they're going to do is they're going to make sure that kids don't love their parents. They're going to make sure that you are not providing any support whatsoever for these parents. So, grandparents, I'm asking you from the depth of my heart, do not give ear to CPS. Do not believe them, what they have to say about your kids. And oftentimes they will say, for example, the child said. Well, what proof do you have that the child actually said that? Children don't really discuss things like that. They don't say things. First of all, if the child is not abused, what possibly can the child say? If the child is abused, we're going to see marks on their bodies. We're going to see burns on their bodies. We're going to see them bones hanging out of like almost their skin. They're like bones. Pediatrician is not going to say anything nice about the parent. Example. So CPS will take healthy children, put them in an adoptive home, and make money off of them. I kid you not. This is true story. This is happening everywhere in the United States of America. And parents, like, I got a call from a parent today. God bless her. She's so sweet. I'm not going to say her name, but most likely she might be watching. But she said to me, I'm not gonna let them take my kids. And the reason for that, let me tell you. She said to me, first of all, hi Stacy.
Hi,
How are
Misty.
you?
I'm good. I'm at work today, so I just took my break here to come on and join you for a little bit.
Thank you. I'll let you talk after this one. But um, she said that the I actually said I she sent me a screenshot of why they opened the case on her. The reason they opened a case on her is because she wouldn't open the door for the social worker. And another reason they put in the report that somebody made a call saying that they haven't seen her car move all week long. She works night shift. She sleeps during the day. So she rests during the day and works night shift. So that person, whoever called, how would they possibly know she went to work at midnight? Are they sitting in front of their door or window 24/7? Because this makes no sense. So I asked her, I said, do you get food stamps and cash aid? She said yes. Guess what? What I'm telling you guys, CPS or DCFS, whatever you want to call them, they're next to each other with DPSS. So DPSS, where you go collect on what do you call it? Food stamps, cash aid, and WIC, I guess they call it. And then you also get Medi-Cal. So when she has babies in her care, of course she's going to let the system know, hey, I just had a baby and I need more, so they can provide her with more money because they make you report any new changes in your household, right? So you're reporting it, then they take the information, CPS is aware of it, they'll make a call, anonymous call, because they're already monitoring your home before you knew it. They know when you're leaving, they know when you're staying, and they know when you come in before a case is even opened. You guys have to understand that relatives is important at this time, more so than ever, because your sons and daughters, they're left to die slowly without their children, to die slowly. So keep that in mind, please, before you believe what CPS says about your kids. Stacy, take it from here, baby, because I know you're on break.
So I'll actually add to that because I'm a physician assistant, so I'm on break right now. But when I work the night shift, we get targeted too when we're driving home from work. It's automatically assumed we must be driving under the influence or something, so we get pulled over without cause all the time. And so I always tell people, I used to think that those vanity plates that say MD or PA or RN were outrageous, but now, because that happens, I think, it's a good idea to get those if you're a healthcare provider, because they'll take a little something and make it in, make a little mountain into a molehill if you get pulled over, like God forbid you have like vitamin D pills or something in your car. They'll make that into a drug until proven otherwise. And all these charges that will stem when you were innocently driving home from work. So I don't have them. I'm not even speaking from my own do as I say, don't do as I do. But if you work in the healthcare profession or anything where you work at nighttime and you can identify that you're somebody that's driving to and from work at nighttime, as opposed to coming home from a bar, I actually encourage it because of that reason. It's terrible. And I've heard stories, not to me personally, thank God, but I've heard stories of people getting their kids taken away because they're driving home from work and they saw some substance in the car. And like I said, they'll call it a drug until proven otherwise. They don't have anything to test the medications at the scene, so that's what they do to people. And then they'll come and take your kids because now this is a drug that you haven't proven. And then you hear the stories all the time. People take drug tests and they say, no, you got to take another, we don't believe it, so I always feel that prevention is better than the remedy. So get those vanity plates, or if you have some other job where you can identify what your vehicle is, if you're working at nighttime, do it, because otherwise you're going to get pulled over without cause all the time, and then it can spiral into all these horrible things.
It does happen. And also people don't understand, and relatives, especially relatives, don't understand, or they fail to even process what I'm saying right now. And The reason you're failing understanding is because you're good people, and good people automatically thinks the system works. Good
You know,
people automatically think that the system is there to protect children and family life
yeah,
and to
I've
reunify.
I've been in this arena for long enough now that some of the people I've helped, their relationships have morphed. And the first person that I ever helped with court advocacy and so forth, um, I've asked her to come on the show, in fact, because I want her to be that sound of reason where, you know what, you can work things out with your ex or your family and stick together and avoid the system. So their divorce was very, very, very contentious, very contentious. And the CPS was called, and of course, the courts was telling her, well, you moved 1 mile out of the school district, so you have to put your house back up for sale if you want to see your kids, and blah, blah, blah. And that's really just to open up the money flow, making them sell their house. It
Right.
wasn't because it was in the interest of children.
Right.
So their divorce was very contentious. And unfortunately, after their divorce, they experienced a really horrific trauma. Everyone ended up being pretty much okay, but their son ended up getting shot like 5 times. And he was standing next to a girl who did die, but he survived. But that trauma made the parents have to communicate. And now they get together very well and they communicate very well for the children. So I just want people to know that sometimes when you think things are so horrible, you couldn't ever communicate and work things out. Yes, a lot of times you can when you thought you couldn't, and you should, because it's so bad. When you involve the system these days, it's counterproductive and it works opposite the way it's supposed to work, or we think it's supposed to work, I should say. So everything Miss G is saying is right. It's from experience. You reach out for help, but they actually target you because now they see that you're poor and you're vulnerable. They'll go after your kids. You're arguing with your spouse. They'll come in. If there isn't anything, they'll manufacture something and take your kids, all for money. So, really, like Miss G is trying to stress in almost every show, she's always saying, family is so important. Family is so important. It is. If you can work it out in your family, you should.
I agree. And oftentimes people say, friends can be like family too. But, you know, I put friends into the category of family when they prove themselves to me. I used to put them in the category of family before they proved themselves to me. I just love people in general. I mean, Stacy and I clicked right away. She's family, really, but she proved herself to me. She literally became, um, she proved herself. So I used to just put people there before proving anything, right? But when you have family and you're backstabbing your own family, then you're not even worthy to be in the friend category. Does that make sense? I don't believe in friends. I don't believe in that.
I mean, certainly, Miss G, I do want to make the point, if somebody's like stabbing you or, violently beating you, I'm not saying to avoid police at that point.
Yeah.
But, if it's that somebody pushed you and you didn't even fall and it wasn't that aggressive or something, don't go calling the police because you're inviting more trouble instead of getting what you think you want.
You have to be physically hurt in a way where you're bleeding to death and to call the police. Am I right? Even when you're bleeding to death, they're going to ask you, can you get up? They're going to ask you so many questions. By the time they're done, if you're hiding from somebody in your home who's trying to kill you, they would find you by now. Like literally, there are people that die calling 911 because they're asking them so many questions instead of just bringing the police there. Especially when a woman says, I've been shot, right? I can't talk. They're in the house. I've been shot. Why would you keep asking her so many questions, right? So they do the same thing when you call in. But when you call in for a domestic violence, their asses will be right there immediately. I kid you not. I'm not asking you to give it a test try, but it's proven, it's true, it's proven, that they will go to your house once you mention you have children, and it's a domestic violence, they will go there faster than if you were bleeding to death. At least in LA. So
I mean, it's
that's
the same. It's the same. Regardless where you live in the United States, it's the same problem. It's the Title IV federal funding that incentivizes all this kids for cash. So it really doesn't matter if you live in LA or anywhere else. They're all on the prowl for kids for money.
true, but I can't speak for other states, Stacy, because I don't know how it works over there. But you do. You're in New York.
I can speak for
Yeah.
New York. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all of a sudden, I mean, it just, the police will pick and choose, I believe, in my heart. Not all of them. Not saying all of them are bad, because I know some officers who are good people, who really are good people. It's all about protecting and serving. But there's some, I don't want to say most because I don't know, but there's some who are literally they don't care about the public. All they care about is pleasing someone, because that entity is going to help them get to where they want to be, whether they want to be promoted somewhere.
But it's hard, Misty.
It's all about what they can do for you in order for you to do for them.
It's hard because believe me, I love good cops too, but it's hard to find them because not only are you talking about bad cops, but when a good cop knows about bad cops and they don't do anything, that makes them bad too. So what are we left with? How many?
Yeah, true. I know. I'm texting Juan right now. I mean, I'm sending a message to Juan because he said he needs help. The only thing that I'm going to emphasize to you guys again is that when your case is brand new and it's open, please call an attorney immediately. The lady that I was talking to today, another lady I was talking to today, she called a criminal attorney. The criminal attorney gave her wrong advice, completely wrong advice, and so steered her away to someone else. And that someone else destroyed her case, meaning she lost her child after 6 months. There was no due process. I'm sorry, go ahead, Stacey.
A lot of attorneys will actually just throw your case because, please, Ms. G, tell me what criminal attorney doesn't know about due process.
Of course they know about due process.
They even get a special name. Criminal attorneys get a special name for violation of due process with their Brady rights and everything. But tell me how a Brady violation in a criminal case is any different than a CPS case. But criminal cases have that special Brady violation that CPS cases can't have. We just have to call it due process, right? And what punishment is worse than having your kids taken away? Is jail worse? I don't think so. So don't tell me a criminal attorney doesn't know about due process.
Right. And they do.
I think, so a lot of attorneys will throw their client's case. So again, if you're in trouble with CPS, I'd be calling Mr. Davis because he specializes in CPS, has a strong reputation, where a lot of other attorneys will throw your case on you and throw you under the bus and take your money.
And that's true. Okay, so Juan wrote, I got my kids back. The case been, I guess he meant to say the case is dismissed for 2 of my kiddos on October 18th and my third one on the 20th of November. Why are they waiting on the third? Wait, we're in October, right? Yeah. So why are they waiting until the 20th of November on the third one? Is the third one a baby? Is the third one the youngest one? Because that could play a lot of.
Either way, Juan, good congratulations, and don't open up the garage door to your house to let the devil in, which means listen to Miss G's advice. If you get into trouble or problems, again, don't be.
Just text me. I'm I now I've figured out how to keep my work phone on all the time, because it didn't ring. It did not give me any sound like I used to use my cell all the time. But my work phone I figured out how to make the sound louder so I can hear people texting me and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way you can text me. Yes, 18 months. See, I was right. I was right. I'm not trying to be right. I wish I wasn't right, Juan. But what they do is they know that the baby is not going to come back to you because that baby is already in an adoptive foster home. Because if they give you 2 kids, the other one should follow at the same speed. So it should not wait until November, sweetheart. No, they're not doing that. In November, what they're gonna do is they're going to slam you with another new charge that
or
you didn't do.
or we call it move the goalpost. Like you have to do this or that, and then you're going to do
Yeah,
it, and then they're still going to move the goalpost further away, and you won't get your kid to meet those goals because they'll keep changing the post.
exactly. So please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm on my freaking knees. Do not think that they're trying to get you your 18 months back, 18 months old baby back. They're not. They're not, Juan. There's so many people, so many parents who lose their youngest ones 100% of the time to adoption, and they end up getting the adult kids back. Nobody wants to adopt them. You have to understand that when a foster home is an adoptive home, they already tell the social worker their preferences. Their preferences.
And
You know
they
what
and
that means?
they go and they tell the families that we'll get the child for you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Remember that. I'm telling you, these people are after the young kids. Only young because it's the cheapest way to adopt a child. They don't need to have money in their bank account. That's the
And
cheapest way to adopt.
the demand is higher too.
Yes, it is. The demand is higher and they can easily be manipulated. They
Yes.
can easily be manipulated to the point where they don't think they have mommy and daddy. They don't
So
know who mommy and daddy is. Yeah.
so listen to Miss G, and like I said, don't be calling the police for little squabbly things. Don't be, um, you know, don't be looking for money from the system if you can avoid it, and use your family for child care and people that you trust with your child, and work on this situation with the 18-month-old because be ready to fight.
Yes, be ready to fight.
Don't
I'm not
don't
joking.
trust. Don't
Don't
trust.
trust. And yes, somebody asked a question. Look at this. Innocent until proven guilty said they get money for taking your child. Answer that.
100%. 100%. Title IV federal funding. Look up CAPTA, Child Abuse Prevention Treatment Act. Look up Title IV federal funding.
Mhm.
And I know even for enforcing child support, I think I read something, they get $2 for every $3 garnished from child support. And they get bonuses for doing adoptions and placing kids for adoption. Money, 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 cash for kids.
Yeah, but Title IV, I forgot to ask you this before. When you read about it, in like in LA County, in California rather, they take more money though. See, the thing about it is with child support and foster homes, they get more money than other states. Like a foster home here, no, it's true. I've seen
No,
it.
no, I'm not discrediting you. I'm saying it's a
Oh,
shame.
yeah. But a foster home here gets per child 15 to 1850 per child a month.
Yeah. And then if they have disabilities or anything, they get more.
They get 2800. So I guess it depends on the state, but either way, they're gonna get money off of your children. Whether you like it or not, they're going to get that money off.
They have programs in all the states how to maximize Title IV federal funding to collect it.
Really? Can you elaborate on that for the people?
Again, the federal government pays Child Protective Services, DSS, money for all child support that they garnish from people's paychecks, for adoptions, for court costs and fees. They reimburse it all pretty heavily. And what that does is it literally creates a conflict of interest, because now the state has an incentive to kidnap your children from you, yet the state is the ones making all the child custody determinations, not federal court. So it kind of even makes a conflict of interest, which should really waive their right if they collect Title IV federal funding. The states really shouldn't even be opining on custody or access, because now
Right.
they're incentivized to take kids away or
Mhm.
to maximize how much they collect from child support garnishment, how many adoptions they place, how often they put kids into care of strangers in foster care. It creates a financial conflict of interest.
Mhm.
And really, this should be abolished because it's a conflict of interest. And so states shouldn't even be allowed to make custody determinations, but there's no way we're taking that away, but it's what it is.
The reunification stage that they keep telling you guys or feeding your heads with is not going to happen. Reunification does not exist in the Department of Children and Family Services. I'm telling you this again. When I talk to you guys, it's not a conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it. It's not. I actually do my research. I talk to people who worked for the department at one point, or people that resigned from the department. They show me text messages. They would take pictures of text messages they get from their supervisors or from other social workers or whatever. I've seen it. I read them. I researched, and so does Stacy. Stacy still finds enough time with her busy schedule being a nurse to help others. I'm not saying she never asked for recognition. I'm saying this because her and we don't just talk out of our butts. We actually do the research. So when we advise you guys, or when I advise you guys, it's because I know what's behind there. When I told you, Juan, earlier, well, how old is your child? It has to be the youngest one involved. You told me 18 months. I didn't know that, but I already know what they do. I already know what they're up to. I know the departments in Monterey Park. I know Department 411. I know Department 407. I know other states. I have people helping me in other states as well, in all the juvenile dependency courts. So what I'm trying to tell you, especially Department 407 in Monterey Park Courthouse in LA County, that judge is corrupt and she should never be sitting on that bench. And I know that for a fact. For a fact. That woman should never be sitting on that bench. So what I'm trying to tell you, women who are judges in juvenile dependency courts, something is wrong with these people. They're not normal. None of them are normal.
Miss G, I think from my experience, and this is just my opinion, but I have this because I've been involved enough now to have this sense. I almost feel like when people write complaints about judges and submit it to the commission for review, I almost feel like judges are really reviewed by how much money they garnish for the state, how much they bring in, and not reviewed by their conduct or how many appeals that have been vacated against their decisions and orders. I really, and not anything to do with their ethical, abilities. I really feel that when you write a complaint about a judge, the first thing they look at is how much did that judge make for the state, his employer or her employer. And so you see these judges on the bench that are with egregious conduct. I did an interview on the show when I was doing How to Fight CPS and Win, the New York edition, where a judge gave temporary custody to a stranger pedophile. She knew he was a pedophile, and so did CPS. And the kids were in the custody of a stranger pedophile who he took the kids when the mother died. He used her death as an opportunity to seize back his victims. And the natural father wanted to come and get his kids. And the judge said, no, you're only allowed to have phone calls 1 day a week. And she knew this guy was a pedophile because she was the one that entered the restraining order in the past on this guy. And so it was through court watching that the judge gave custody back to the rightful natural father, who has no history of any problems. He was a truck driver, gets DOT exams, gets drug tested regularly because of his profession, no history of arrest, no history of child abuse, but she was demanding custody with the pedophile. And the reason she was doing this is because the pedophile was appearing in court with an influential councilman who operates one of the largest nonprofit organizations in Erie County, New York. And so we have that family's testimony on how to fight CPS and win the New York editions in the archives, that we witnessed the judge doing this through court watching. And then when I thought because of court watching that the natural father got custody, I thought everything was done. No, the family called me after court. The judge only wrote temporary custody to the natural father. So we had to go back and court watch some more till he got custody of his kids. That happened in New York State. You see these horrible, horrible judges on the stand behind the bench because they're not evaluated by their ethical adjudication or how their orders are upheld. They're viewed, in my opinion, by how much money they bring in with Title IV federal funding to the state.
And also, a lot of you guys don't understand, or were not aware, which I became aware recently, is that what they do is they, for example, a corrupt judge from juvenile courthouse can easily get promoted in a way where she or he, mostly she, supervise the whole entire family court. For example, in LA County, she's in charge of all the freaking departments. Okay, freaking departments. That woman was a juvenile dependency judge. Back in 2012, she literally hated mothers. She removed every kid she had. Kids.
I don't even think Miss G, did she hate mothers, or she just knew that she would make more money that way? Because again, sincere, caring, loving parents, when the child is put into abuse or taken away, those sincere, caring, loving parents are going to fight, 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 and fuel more money into the whole racket.
Sweetheart, so was it he gives no.
Was it hate or was it making money?
No. It's both. Let me tell you why. She would choose the abuser. If the abuser is the father, she would give the child to the abuser.
Makes more money.
I kid you not. I'm not joking. That father has arson, theft, went to jail for them.
Was probably building a nuclear bomb in the garage.
Exactly. You never know. But again, the father has a domestic violence record against them. Mother is clean, completely clean, nothing at all. And they still give the father the child. So with that being said, that is hating on the mother. Because oftentimes a woman cries out for help because of a domestic violence. Who in the hell knows? Who are they going to marry? A narcissist? No one knows who's they going to marry. A narcissist is so clever. A narcissist is so clever. They will charm the pants off of you, and you don't believe anybody, and you only believe them. That's what a narc is. So women are usually targeted, especially empath women. They're targeted because a narcissist is looking for an empath. That's what he wants, as an empath, to control. Therefore, when women get into that trap and they have children with these people, right? And they cry out for help, why would you take the woman's child away from her? Why, if she's protecting their children and herself, why would you give the child or the children back to the abuser when in fact this man abused her? And why is there domestic violence shelters if you're going to report every mother in there for their children to be removed from them because of poverty? It's not poverty. And children should never be removed because of poverty. Go ahead, Stacy.
Nope, they just want the money. This is all a racket for money, and kids are money to them. They see dollar signs. We see our babies, they see dollar signs.
They see more money coming in, and the money that's going out is to help the foster homes. But that money, that Title IV funding should be to help the parent. If a parent cannot afford living because he or she lost their job,
the Family First Act of 2018, that's not the full title of it, but it's essentially the Family First Act of 2018. The reason that legislation was created is because research shows children do better in the care of their family. Family is defined, at least in New York State, by kinship laws is anyone that's even a close friend of the family is considered a kinship member that can get custody of a child when the natural parents can't, or a godparent, even, at least in New York State. But that legislation was enacted because research shows kids do better in their family. But CPS always wants to put kids into the care of strangers, and they'll do everything they can to usurp any family member, point fingers at a family member, and put them into the care, quote unquote, care of a worse foster family than any family member or friend because they get more money.
You know, Nancy Schaefer said it perfectly. I remember when I was watching her videos years ago. I remember when I did my show by myself, I talked about Nancy Schaefer a lot. I think I mentioned her like almost every show for like years, okay? And she said it perfectly. She said the state is so used to the money coming in that they decided not to do anything about it. They know about the corruption, but they like that money coming in.
They like it. They
They
do.
love it. They love it. But for her honesty and her love for people, she lost her seat on the Senate. So they punish senators for speaking out. That's why oftentimes when you watch the news, you know, you see the senator was like, you know, he knows the corruption is going on, but he's like, you're like, huh, what? It's like you don't even hear them. It's like they're blinded. They make you think they don't know anything about it. They know everything about it, but they're afraid to speak because they're going to lose their seat
Well, Miss G,
or their life, like Nancy
they
did.
love to pretend everything was by accident or improper training, or they just didn't know, because that's the golden ticket to make sure that they're not held accountable. This is not. I disagree. It is willful, knowing, and deliberate trafficking of our children for money. They know what they're doing, but they make the appearance. They do everything they can to save face and make it look like, oh, it was an accident, I didn't know better. They know. It's no different than when you go to work. It's the same for you, Miss G. It's the same for me. If we're not bringing in dollars and cents that justify our job, that's the first thing that they look at.
Actually, no. That's only because this is a you're talking about sales. This is you're not in sales. You offer services. There's a big, huge difference. So when you get a telemarketing that's not closing, like I don't know, AT&T or whatever, then yes, that's that's different. You get it now? But you're a nurse. You offer services. You help people, right? We help people by offering services. What is that buzzing going on over there? Is somebody making coffee or cappuccino or frappuccino or something over there? You're in the break room, right, Stacy? I can't hear you.
I'm on my break, so I stayed over here. But it's still, at the end of the day, businesses have to thrive. If you're not bringing in money to sustain the business, then then the business is no more. So dollars and cents is very important, and they do look at this at no matter what job you're working at when it's a corporation. And our United States is a corporation. Our states, they're all functioning as businesses. So when they're looking at kids, they're looking at the dollars and cents. When they're looking at a judge who is an employee of the state, they're looking at dollars and cents. In one light, even in medicine, you have to look at dollars and cents, even though you don't want to. You want to look at how you care for people, but if you're not paying attention, then there's no hospital anymore.
Right. Innocent till proving guilty said, I bet CPS won't like what you say. And? I mean, and? It doesn't matter. Innocent until proven guilty. They went on saying, I cannot hear the lady on the right. You're right. She's a nurse. And she was talking to us from her break time, from her break room. So I think the connection is bad, but she can't be on the show for a long time because she has to go back to work. But um, going back to you, innocent till proven guilty. Yes, You bet right. Oh Lord.
From 1509
Wait.
238.
So you're right. Yes, they they hear what I say, what anybody says on these shows that we have, but I don't really care. And the reason being is because they're not God. They're not my God. So with that being said, God honors the truth. Only God controls my destiny. Okay? I don't fear them, and we shouldn't fear them. Remember, demons are more afraid of you than you are of them. Um, Diana, hi Diana. Hi, I need to send a hello to my gal. Um, look who's underdog. Love you. So good to see you. Diana said, Miss G, could I please get your email? I have bad service too. I am in an area with bad service. I need your help badly. I am going to walk on railroad tracks soon. I don't know how much more I can take it. Please do not hurt yourself, Diana. Believe me, your kids need you. Um, I'm gonna send my email address for everyone right here for you to see. VincentWDavis.com. Okay, so here's my email address. Here it is. And you can text me. Sorry, you can email me or you can text me at uh, okay, so here you go. So you can call me and or text me at this number, which is also my work number. Okay, right here. And you can email me as well, but please, when you text me or email me, please indicate your full name so that way I know who I'm speaking with. Okay, so I can also save you. I want to start saving people on my work phone so I can have them ready, so when you guys do call me or text me, I know who is trying to get a hold of me. I think that's the best thing to do. Again, if you have a parent, if there's grandparents out there or a mother or father that doesn't believe you and they believe CPS, please have them call me. I'm begging you, have them call me and I will break it down to them. Because see, we've been silent for too long and we've been dancing with the devil for too long. I don't know if you guys want to continue dancing with the devil. I don't. I seriously don't. Because and that's they keep calling me at the work number. Here we go. So let me turn it off for now. But again, if you do have parents who don't, let me just shut it off, you guys. I'm so sorry. If you do have parents that don't believe you and they tend to believe CPS, have them call me. I will explain it to them. And oftentimes, social workers pretend to be CPS victims. One of them could be watching right now, pretending to be a CPS victim, and they're sending messages about children and all that. Be careful who you entertain. Don't be afraid of them. The only fear they have is to be exposed. Remember that. They don't want to be exposed. Because if they're exposed, guess what? They're going to have issues. Big issues. Because now people know, and everywhere in the world, and they don't want anyone to know. They don't want anyone to know what they're doing. So they're keeping on the hush hush. They want everybody to be silent. They're keeping you afraid. You should never be afraid. And again, relatives, please attend to your children and your grandchildren. Fight for them. Help them. Help them. And the first thing a relative needs to do is be in court with you, because the children should belong to family, meaning CPS will not place your child with family members because they get their incentives, their funding from the federal court when they're placed in a foster home. So we need to expose them. We need to stand up for one another. I personally stand up for people who are legit, people who actually are legit. I'm being honest. Not people who are just playing games, in and out of what I don't know if I want to keep my kid or not. I mean, I get people like that all the time. They change their mind. I don't want my kid. I don't want my kid. Just take them. And then once that happens, to me, I just look at them. So you don't want me to help you? No, I don't want my kid. What can I possibly do after that? Nothing. So I will help people who actually need the help. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. But if you're a social worker and you're pretending to be a parent and you're calling me trying to figure out who those two gals are that resigned from the department, it's going to be very tough for you. So don't even try it. Okay? In life, you can be naive and gullible, but once you learn your lesson, you can sniff BS when it's 3 miles away from you. Okay? So if you're a social worker pretending to be a parent struggling with CPS, remember, I can sniff you. Yeah, it's true. Innocent until proven guilty. They pretend. Okay. Anyways, we're coming to the end of the show, you guys. If you have any questions, if you need help, please contact me at the work number 626-631-8901. That number, you can text me or call me. If you call me, leave me a voicemail message. If I don't answer, that means I'm on the phone or I'm not available to answer. After this show, I'm done. I'm going to the dentist because I have issues with my root canals. So anyways, I'm not going to answer the phone until I'm done. And probably I won't for a while. Tomorrow maybe. But if you need to text me, I'll be able to answer text messages. Okay? Not when I'm sitting on the chair, but after. And also another point I want to make out before I leave the show right now. I have, for those of you that don't know, I'm diabetic. I have diabetes. And I have really bad pain on the right side of my mouth and the left side of my mouth. I avoided going to the dentist for years. Last time I went to a dentist was 10 years ago. And the reason for that is because I hate needles. And that, I'm not talking about little tiny needle. I'm talking about this kind of needle, like it's painful. So I faint from needles. Like needles, I faint. I look at a needle, I'm done. I'm gone. Just literally fall. I can't, my heart cannot take it. So I waited until the end when the pain is so bad that I cannot eat, I cannot chew anything. Okay. So I thought about same thing with CPS cases. You wait until the end of your case because they give you false hope that you're going to have reunification with your children if you do this, if you do this, if you do that. That's not possible. You're going to wait until you're in so much pain that you cannot take it anymore. So at the beginning, right, that's when you need to lawyer up. CPS defense attorneys, I have a list of a lot of states that I've done so far. If you're in a certain state and you're looking for a CPS defense attorney in that state, please text me the name of your state. I will look at my Excel sheet and I will let you know what attorney is handling CPS cases. I have all of them. Okay. And if they're not handling CPS cases in that particular state, I will let you know as well. So I've been working on this list for a while. Okay. And I will be able to help you guys find an attorney as well. But if I'm on a call for work, don't keep calling over and over again. Just text me the name of your state and your full name and just ask me if I know an attorney in that state that can handle the CPS case. And I personally will text you the information. Like example, Paul Mark, full name and their phone number. Okay. And you can call them and you can see what they can do to help you in that particular state. Okay. Innocent until proven guilty. Please text me. Like I said, text me your full name and the name of your state and ask me to help you locate an attorney in that state. Okay. But like I said, I'm going to the dentist. I'm leaving at 2:30. My appointment is at 3. I won't be able to respond to anyone for a while, depending on how long it will take. So anyways, God bless you all. If you have any questions again, please don't hesitate to contact me. Have a great day. And please do not feel defeated. I want you to lawyer up. Innocent until proven guilty said, I live in New Zealand, though they live in Tennessee. That's fine. And by the way, if you're the grandmother or the grandfather or the aunt or the uncle, it doesn't matter. By law, they're supposed to give you the children anywhere in the world, even if you live in Zimbabwe, for example. Doesn't matter. By law, they have to give the children to family members. But again, the reason they don't want to do that because they're not going to get the funding. The funding is very important to them. Money is more important to them than us. Money is more important to them than their child. Okay, so you're not related to the children, but you're following their case? Yeah, I don't have a different number. That's the only number I have. All right, guys, I gotta go. God bless you all. I hope to see you guys tonight at 7:00. Hopefully, I'll be able to do the show with Attorney Davis. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Fight CPS and When with Attorney Vincent Davis. All right. God bless you all. Bye bye.